Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back, and sorry about the many changes that have happened for the last 2 weeks. I was in a very, very tight situation regarding the 9 divisions of my company, and I had to attend to a friend's they had some family difficulties, and I just had to bail him out. But anyway, that is definitely a very, it's all what we call an adjustment period right now, that our program is unfolding big time. But one thing is very clear, ladies and gentlemen, the U.S. economy, you can already feel it, is transitioning from a lackluster economy to a boom economy. The sporadic taxes are now being adjusted, as I said, into pinpointed taxes with products that will affect the prices or the rise in price here in the mainland. But one thing is very, very clear. The fuel prices are going down. Mortgage rates are slowly creeping to about 6.5%. And with buy-down rates, it can go as low as 4%. But we are still hoping that the good Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, will redeem himself by adjusting a lower rate to about, hopefully, a full percent to jolt the staggered real estate market for the last 3 years and counting. So to Jerome Powell, to the good governor, I think 1% will be enough to restore back investor confidence in the real estate market. Because as you know very well, affordability is the #1 problem we have in this very tragic market, if I may say. So it's up to you, Governor Powell. I hope you're listening. Look what happened to Ben Bernanke. He did not listen. And yeah, I'm confident you have the mindset and the numbers that can justify the full percent reduction of interest rates in the real estate industry in order to regain back some confidence in the markets. Not to mention that it will also ripple to other segments of the economy in order to create a very vibrant economy. Because as you know, real estate and fuel prices dictate the pace of a growing economy, of a growth curve. And I will present to you charts on that matter. So I will pretend, if I may use that word, to become the next central bank of the United States of America. And I will tell you exactly what's going to happen if my monetary policies will be approved. And I'm telling you right now, we will shock the world. We will balance the budget. We will achieve prosperity in 2027 until 2032. If you vote for Donald Trump. if you vote for the anointed one, if I may say, of President Donald Trump. You know, let me be very clear. There is already a lot of talk about who will be the next president. Up to now, no question about it, this is based on reliable polls. J.D. Vance is the front runner, and very close behind him is the greatest Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. But I'm not closing the doors to the other potentials, like just today, I think. Don't quote me on this, but this is subject to validation. Former President Bill Clinton already endorsed California Governor Gavin Newsom as the front runner of the Democratic Party for president. And as you know very well, Texas is booming to the hilt, all because of the seeds planted by then Governor Jeb Bush. And if the governor had the right team, had the right machinery during his run for president, he would have been a good candidate to win. So there are so many viable, winnable candidates if and only if they are able to create that right campaign team machinery, as I call it. So, ladies and gentlemen, what is the basis of our program for today besides politics? It's all about security. As you know, Walmart, because of my good ideas centuries ago, pardon that hyperbole, these mass shootings all over the retail world, in 7-Eleven just recently, in a retail store outside Texas, and the list goes on, which happens even frequently in gas stations in the East Coast, where shootings are normal. And the best way to solve this is to expose it, not to hide it. Unlike other nations, they hide these matters. We expose it in order to solve it. We expose it in order to solve it. So just yesterday, or 48 hours ago to be exact, the illustrious guest of the president, President Donald Trump, King Mohammed bin Salman, clearly stated that I have nothing to do with Osama bin Laden. Nothing. In fact, we do not make him a part of our kingdom because he is a criminal. He explicitly stated that Osama bin Laden and his group are not at all in the circle of the civilized, highly civilized kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Unfortunately, the press did not release this way back years ago. Just like me, I'm a Filipino American. There are certain Filipino criminals who want to associate with me and use my good name. Like Wendell R. Managat. I am not associated with this animal. Like a person who we have indications have faked his death certificate. He changed his face, he changed his voice by the name of Donald R. Kincaid. He's a Filipino, okay, because in the United States, if you become an American citizen, you are allowed by law to change your name. So his name right now is Donald R. Kincaid. And he robbed me so many intellectual properties. He sold it and made money. Again, this will be presented with evidences to the Court of Laws of the United States of America, which brings me back to the main topic, security. If America has the right budget to combat all of these killings, all of these murders, all of these robberies, the projection of the boom in 2027 will be probably middle of 2026, but that is a tall order for the police force of America, for the military of America, and the ICE of America. And by the way, I am 100% in favor of ICE. ICE is the solution to combat criminality. And again, I tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, when I was here in the United States of America in 1989, I only lasted 3 weeks because my visa did not allow it. I think during that time, the maximum was about 6 months. No. I think 1 month to 6 months. But anyway, I only lasted 3 weeks. The people who wanted to malign me, such as Wendell R. Managat, said that I was here forever. No, I only lasted 3 weeks in 1989. I left for the Philippines and came back and came back and came back several times until I got my green card. And the group of Miss Kichi Benedicto in Santa Ana, California, okay, rejected me for some very, very fictitious issues regarding taxes, which I submitted and we paid taxes. But since she was belonging to the Marcos group during that time, in 2004, and I belonged to the Aquino group, she rejected me. So I'd like to be very clear on my good intentions, on my professionalism, untarnished despite what she did to me, that my priority is to make America great again. It all starts with 2 things. Number 1, very good immigrants. Immigrants of my background, high level, well educated, speaks fluent English, understands mathematics, statistics, calculus, and the list goes on. Not people like Wendell R. Managat. Not people like Hermes Cerdena. They don't even like America, for crying out loud. They hate America. They are here because they are robbing me every single day. Right? And again, that is based on evidences. Not on hearsay, not on innuendos and half-truths. So, going back to security, if these people are booted out through ICE and some legal manner, then all the investors, including what happened right now to Saudi Arabia, he bet what, 1 trillion. I'm sorry, invested 1 trillion in America. Yeah, those, I agree with you. Some people told me that never use that term bet again, because bet is a temporary investment. An investment is a long-term investment to make America great again, quickly. And it all starts with good immigrants. the influx of good immigrants because of my new proposal, which is what? The monthly achievement report, which was started in a way by then Doge secretary or cabinet level, Mr. Elon Musk. I made it even better, Mr. Musk, in order to create a vibrant economy that is sustainable. Not for 5 years, not for 10 years, but at least 25 years. At least. So what did they do? They called me all of this nonsense, you know. All of these invectives and all of these personal issues that are all false. Because obviously, they want to make me appear that I am a spy and an anti-American so that they can steal these intellectual properties every single night. Would you believe? Every single night when I am asleep at my private property and home offices, my home office there in Yukon, they steal it during nighttime. And I caught them. Again, with overwhelming evidences to prove. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if I may say to you right now, if you are in Japan, if you are in London, if you are in South Africa, if you are in Brazil, now is the best time to invest in the Donald Trump economy. Simply because of the fact that the economy is adjusting in order to create that level or that stage towards a boom economy. And based on my assumptions, if security will be solved, if these animals will leave America, the new investors will just flow like water in the next 18 months, thereby increasing money velocity in practically all states. Look at Louisiana right now. Look at Oklahoma. Oklahoma was unheard of in 2016. In fact, it was one of the last states. Look at it now. It's #1 in terms of growth. Oklahoma, would you believe? And that's why the people in Las Vegas, in Arizona, in California are all shocked and jealous about Oklahoma, because Oklahoma right now is the #1, numero uno, growth economy among all other states. And the cost of living is very affordable. #1 again. #1 to do business, because as you know in business, if you are the #1 cost leader, you will be the #1 in your given industry. So ladies and gentlemen, let me be very clear. Okay, because if I am accused again as all of this nonsense, as I told you, I promised you on my day 1, I will close this down. I am the owner of the Prosperity Channel. On the other hand, if you want to be prosperous, the more you listen to me and our group, the more money you are going to make. That's why I am asking now Wendell R. Managat, who is hiding somewhere here in Bethany, and this guy who faked his death certificate. Okay? His name is Donald R. Kincaid. Okay? This is what I can tell you. This is what I can tell you. If you do not make a statement within the next 48 hours, you will be apprehended. And you and your family, your name will be tarnished completely. completely. That I can tell you. Because you are a good example of a U.S. economic saboteur. You want America destroyed. My group wants America to be not only great again, but the greatest ever in America's history. And again, I will shock the world on that. Because even Ben Bernanke right now is shocked as to how good my economic policies are. I call it actually not economic policies. It's more on resource management. Okay, and by the way, to Ben Bernanke, I'm giving you the chance to come back here because I know your group are here, Mr. Bernanke. Okay? And to Mayet Boris Mendoza, okay, your days are numbered because you are nothing but a liar. You destroyed my good name with Andres Soriano III, and look at the Philippines right now. Look at the Philippines right now. They cannot even solve, I'm so embarrassed to say this, food security. Oh my God. You know, when I was with the FLD San Miguel Feeds and Livestock Division, I was able to come out with a formula precisely on food security. And what was it? The backyard racing program. What does the backyard racing program do? It teaches Filipinos to become a supply point. Not only with meat products, but with carbohydrates such as rice and corn. And at the same time, I developed a system to make it profitable without touching the profitability of the integrators. What is an integrator? An integrator integrates the feed milling, the creation of broilers through hatcheries, and the list goes on from hogs to even fish, cattle, milk, you name it, it's all in that plan. And the person that ousted me, Ramon Franco Llanos, is right now here, would you believe, in Oklahoma apologizing to me. After all these years. 38 tragic years. 38 years of blood and more blood you can imagine because of the tragedy that happened to me. Tragedy upon tragedy. Death threats upon death threats. And some of these Filipino animals are here again, including a lady that sideswiped me while driving along the freeway of this great state of Oklahoma. And I have photos to show that, to prove my point. Babae ito, female. And now I think she wants to say that she comes from Hispanic origin. So again, that is subject to validation. But this is how important this video is, because of the fact that we can solve these problems if we can just, eliminate this anti-Americans, these people who want America to be destroyed, America to become a third world. But we will not permit that. We will not make that happen because, as I said, the best way to do this is to expose them time and time again and file one lawsuit after the other. And they call it frivolous lawsuits. Well, let's see. America, after all, is not the Philippines. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me be very, very clear. I am here, to break the all-time high revenues in exports. I am here to make America the greatest ever in our history. And by the way, there's even a person here, about 6 years ago, a Tefe Nano Kanino bang bata yan? Bata mo ba yan, Ramon Ang? To Mr. Ramon Ang? Is that your boy? Okay, we've been very nice to him kasi ang sabi niya, taga San Miguel daw siya. So sabi ko, okay lang, no? Okay, if you want to do whatever you want to do here, I'm not the president of the United States, you know? This is a free country. However, if you abuse the system and use my good name, mayayari ka talaga. Okay? And I never heard a person by the name of Nano. Nano. I think that was the joke during the time of a certain Hollywood celebrity. Nano. But anyway, pinabayaan ko na lang, you know, out of freedom to want to go to America. And that was 6 years ago, by the way, Mr. Ang. I'd like to be very clear, Ramon Ang. Okay, I'd like to be very clear. I am still the world record holder for feed sales. At marami nagsasabi, sila daw ganun. These are all lies. Even Nestle is following my lead. Nestle. Okay? I'd like to be very clear on that because they're saying they're better. You know, if they're better, why are they stealing from me? Bakit nakaw ng nakaw? Hindi, titirahin pa ako, sisiraan pa ako. Okay? So I'd like to be very clear on that, Mr. Ang. If you have any questions, you can direct it with me. My Viber number is 405-503-8511. Because everybody is shocked as to why the BMEG feed plant was put in Pangasinan and not in Bulacan, which is my hometown. You know why? Because I'm a professional. Region 1 deserves to be there. I'm sorry, Region 1 deserves the BMEG feed plant because Region 1 produced the most amount of sales of revenue in the history of BMEG for the last 40 years. But I have delicadeza. I am an honorable person. I am a high-class Filipino. I am highly educated. I am ilustrado de Tagalog. So why do you believe this animal by the name of Wendell Armanagat? And I know already his surrogates in the Philippines. I think one is in the military, one is here and there. But as I said, I am not connected with these animals. Hindi ako connected sa mga magdanakaw na ito. I'd like to be very clear on that. And that's why I am now referring the matter to the authorities. First thing Monday morning. And by the way, they already know it because the police force here is also being manipulated by these animals. Nilalagyan ang police force ng Amerika. They are bribing them, including this lady who sideswiped the vehicle of mine. And let's call a spade a spade. Nothing can beat Andres Soriano III. Nothing can beat Andy Soriano III. Andy Soriano has the highest form of delicadeza. Andy Soriano will bring stability back to the Philippines. Andy Soriano will bring all investors in the world because of his name. Pag sinabi mo Andres Soriano III, everybody bows. Because of the history of the Soriano family. And matagal ko nang sinabi ito, panahon pa ni Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. The key to Philippine exports is San Miguel International, which was invented by the father of Andres Soriano III. Ano ba naman yung mag-invest ka sa Anscor ngayon ng let's say 100 billion to 200 billion dollars. And that will solve all your problems, President Bongbong Marcos. That will solve all the problems of reserves. Kanya na yan, kira mo na, bigay mo na yan. Sa kanya yung San Miguel, Philippines. Alam mo naman, pati si Andres Soriano III, magdanakaw, no? Baka editin pa yan, no? I'm telling you very clear, Andres Soriano is the gold standard for honesty and integrity, not only in the Philippines, but the whole world! The whole world! So what is $200 billion to develop San Miguel International, Andres Soriano III? And I told this a long time ago. And yes, we can revive the economy in California because of him. We can revive the economies in Western Europe because of Andres Soriano III. Huwag ka nang umasa sa mga kung sino-sino dyan. Ayokong siraan yung mga tao dyan, but they have proven to be not only stupid, but they really cannot handle, the big-time pressure of international trade. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to end this particular segment again, and I'll make sure it will be broadcasted immediately, because the last time around, there were the groups of Wendell Armanaga who wanted this video to be destroyed completely in a very violent manner. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Good evening, and I will see you soon.